What's going on, Gacha Gang? It's Kawaii50 back with another FGO video, and today we are going to talk about the main saber face of the Fate franchise right now. You guessed it, it is Miyamoto Musashi. We're going to be going over all of Musashi's stats, the command codes you want to put on her, the craft essences you want to give her, the best allies that she needs in order to become the truly peerless swordswoman. And hey, if this video helps you out, be sure to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Musashi is designed to attack, and that is very plain when you take a peek at her stats. 13,635 HP is on the higher end of HP, but what I'm mainly focused on here is the attack, 12,037, putting her at the 24th highest attack in the game right now. Musashi is no joke when it comes to dealing that damage. But, as with every servant, there is a downside, and the big joke with Musashi comes with her NP per hit, coupled with her card setup. With a quick arts Buster deck and a Buster Noble Phantasm, Musashi doesn't really have a lot of reliable ways to charge her Noble Phantasm. A single arts card and a single quick card with some fairly low hit counts on both means that Musashi is gonna need some help in order to charge her NP. Luckily, she won't need help with star absorption. If you got a pretty decent star generator with Musashi's average star absorption, you're gonna be able to get some crits off, and those crits might just help you charge her Noble Phantasm. Musashi's single passive isn't really worth mentioning, so to save time, let's start with her active skills, starting with 5th Force rank A. This doubles the number of hits when normal attacking, decreases the damage of each of those hits by 50%, but also increases her damage when normal attacking by 0 to 30% depending on how much you've leveled into this skill. This is on a 6-turn cooldown and it lasts for a single turn. This is not only Musashi's hallmark skill, but this is the skill you want to level first on her more than anything else. This skill is not only going to make Musashi deal more damage, but if you deal more damage, you've got a better chance to get into overkill. And what do you get when you're damaging an enemy in overkill? That's right, more stars and more Noble Phantasm gain. So upping this skill inadvertently makes Musashi both deal more damage, gain more NP, and as a little cherry on top, get more critical stars. I know I said both, and that was 3 things, but that is just the way it is. Max this skill before anything else. Musashi's second skill is also the skill you want to level second, and that is Heavenly Eyes rank A. This gives Musashi Ignore Invincibility, which remember also pierces Evade, and it increases her Buster card effectiveness by 30 to 50% for 1 turn. This is only on a 5-turn cooldown compared to the 6 turns on 5th Force, and you're mainly going to be using this to either get that final hit on an enemy who had the audacity to make themselves damage immune, or you're going to use it right before her Noble Phantasm. Musashi's final skill is her survivability skill, and that is Emptiness rank A. This gives her invincibility for 1 turn and cleanses all debuffs on her. It also increases her star drop rate by 10 to 30%, but that's not the main reason you're going to be using this skill. Honestly, there might be a lot of times where you use this skill with Musashi and don't even attack with her because you need her to get through to the next turn, be it a boss from one of the Lost Belts or one of the challenge quests. So max this last mainly to decrease the cooldown. You're not really going to want to use this for much else. Now I know the upgrade to Musashi's Noble Phantasm is not due on NA until 8/2022, but that is what we are going to use as the baseline for her just because it's the best way to future-proof this video. If you want a more representative version of Musashi's Noble Phantasm, just subtract 200% damage from the damage dealt and remove the extra special attack damage bonus, and you're pretty much there. So 6 Paths 5 Rings Kurikara Divine Blade deals 800 to 1200% damage to a single enemy and also removes all their buffs. Unfortunately, it does this after damage is dealt, so if you want to pierce invincibility, you're going to have to use a skill with that. It also deals extra damage after its rank up to Moon Cancer or Alter Ego class enemies. So Musashi inadvertently becomes the Bane of BB and the Bane of Swimsuit Kiara. It's pretty strange. There are of course some story reasons for this, and I put up my own theories in a video a little while back that I'll link to you down in the description below, because, I don't know, I thought it was a pretty interesting exercise. This also increases Musashi's Noble Phantasm strength for 1 turn, and it activates first and is affected by Overcharge. So if you are looking to get the most bang for your buck out of Musashi's Noble Phantasm in an NP string, you want to go ahead and use this last, because a 300% overcharge bonus, well, that's a 60% boost to your NP damage. That's meaty. That's real meaty. What craft essence you equip on Musashi sort of depends on what kind of fight you're bringing her into. If it is going to be a more short form fight, I usually like starting NP gauge on her, coupled with Buster Card effectiveness and NP strength. And what craft essence is not only free, but does all of those things? That's right, it is Aerial Drive. Aerial Drive, an absolutely fantastic freebie craft essence, ticks all those boxes, perfect for Musashi. Another freebie I'd like to mention for that same situation is Golden Sumo Boulder Tournament. You get that 50% NP steroid, and you also get that 15% attack buff. Pretty much everything she could be looking for. Now, when it comes to longer battles or battles with multiple break bars, I really feel like crits are the name of the game, with you funneling all the stars into Musashi that you possibly can. So for that, I would like to recommend Holy Night Supper to start with. NP damage boost, crit damage boost, and that starting NP gauge will help you get an early Noble Phantasm off. Failing that, there's also, of course, Joint Recital, a prime pick for Buster crit servants. 15% Buster, 15% critical damage, both of those bumping to 20 if you manage to max limit break this CE. Musashi's stacked Buster deck means she craves Buster support, so you're going to give her all the Buster support you possibly can. Of course, Merlin, Nightingale, and Queen Himiko are going to be 3 of your really big budget picks, any of these characters increasing Musashi's overall Buster effectiveness, and in the case of Merlin and Himiko in particular, that crit effectiveness goes up as well, allowing Musashi to deal even more damage from those crits that you can stack with one of those craft essences. Of course, if you're looking for freebie options with her, there is nobody better than, say, Leonidas and Shakespeare. These two are awesome budget buster picks, and they are well worth investing in if maybe you don't have a high enough team cost, or you just didn't get lucky with your pulls. Either of these characters can still support Musashi fairly well. And now we get to our command codes, and when it comes to Musashi's quick and arts cards, since she only has one of each, we really want to make sure we are maximizing the effectiveness of those cards whenever they show up in our draw. So when it comes to Musashi's arts card, I would recommend something like Immature Illusionary Command Seal. This increases the star absorption of her arts card by 100%, and that extra star absorption means an extra chance to crit, which means an extra chance to gain Noble Phantasm. And Musashi needs any and all help she can get to up her Noble Phantasm gain. When it comes to our quick card, yeah, there are some command codes that generate critical stars, but more often than not, the critical stars you get aren't honestly noticeable enough to make a huge impact on the quick card. So I would recommend the one that carries Fortune. This is another star absorption command code completely designed around quick cards, and if she absorbs stars into her quick card, she will generate more stars when she crits. When it comes to Musashi's Buster cards, we've got a few options to make her better. One of them I actually recommend is Magus of Flowers. Once every 3 turns, she'll charge her NP gauge by a flat 10% when attacking with that Buster card. It almost makes up for the fact that she only has a single arts card. It's a pretty nice bonus, and you're still dealing that Buster card damage with it. Of course, Da Vinci-chan is always good for NP-focused servants. You've got to attack with the card first before the NP damage up buff takes an effect, but plus 15% NP damage on Musashi, plus the NP damage boost she gets before her damage is dealt from her actual Noble Phantasm, plus any other buffs you might be chucking on her, that is going to be a meaty attack against all but the strongest Challenge Quest villains. And of course, if you're looking for more fun crit damage, the Blades of Nitendoraku is pretty good on her. Plus 20% critical damage on the engraved card means that if you're generating those stars, sending them to Musashi, and she's attacking with that card, well, it's just a nice little way to boost her damage an extra bit. Overall, I can say that Musashi's individual effects are powerful, but I really feel like she shines more in short order fights than when it comes to challenge quests. If you bring her to challenge quests, it is possible, but you've got to bring her a lot of support, completely designed around sending as many buffs her way as possible for her to deal damage. Otherwise, her damage just ends up really, really bursty, and it doesn't really get used a lot. But when it comes to short order fights, people, those 3 moves that Musashi has, they are very, very powerful, and they can just pretty much be used on a third wave to completely end the fight, no questions asked. She's very, very strong when it comes to bursts, but you need to work around it a little bit in order to make her strong in longer form fights. The potential is there though. And of course, I want to know what you think about Miyamoto Musashi, so let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments section below. Let me know if you've got any other allies you use with her. Let me know if there's fun command codes or craft essences you might have found to use with her. And if you're summoning for her in the gacha, let me know if you pulled her. I think it's very, very fun to just share your roles with as many people as possible. This is Kawaii50, hoping you have a phenomenal day. Remember, we can talk more FGO in my Discord. Check out my Twitch if you'd like. If you think I'm doing a good job, well, we got a Patreon as well. I'll see ya in the next video.